only I haven't done is check. Just in case. It does. That's alright. It's just picked up whatever. Okay. Still got some taken off. Seven. It's getting sorted. Alright. I think I haven't had a chance to check this. Yes. Let's go. Let's go live. Right, mouthful of water and take a breath. I'm not going to an ad. Sounds great. Righto, take two. Let's see if we can get this show to go. And we bring up the grid. And we had Stone Street, Arnie, Ed, Cullen, Jim Caparonis from Old Mates, Pete Kelleher from Synergy, Sean Cullen, Bruce McLeod, Jamie Peters. And then we jumped down into Wayne Shepherd from Infinity Motorsports alongside Brendan Zatera, Ed Fox in 11th alongside Rob Vizar. Then we move on to the next row. And we've got Scotty Perrins from Pecky Performance Racing in 13th alongside Old Mates and Sons Darren Friend. And then we go to Marty Hughes in 15th, Some Muppet in 16th, Pato in 17th, Hazy in 18th. Adrian Zeal is back with Gunter on the bonnet in 19th alongside Simon Clapham to have Zippy back. 21st was Darren Walden, another one who's making a return for Angry Birds, and Michael Yo. I hope I said that right, Ed. You probably know it better than me. Ed's been bumped out. So we've got Michael Yo, and then alongside next row back in 23rd in Player One, my favourite Dutchman, Greg Shelton, alongside Carl Pickering, the Hoffy protege. And then we move into 25th. I'm not going to talk about that bloke too much. Dave 37 Racing, David Baldock alongside Player One's Jeff Sanford. And then we move on to Phil Marsh in 27th alongside Player One, Old Mates and Sons, Anita Buckland. Matt Beale in 29th, Simon Williamson from WKMP in 30th. In 31st, we've got my favourite Kiwi, Andrew Johnston, alongside Neil Waters from Player One. Peter Simon in 33rd, Darren Vermey in 34th. Greg Favell has the chief steward duties in race control alongside Mark, the safety car dial. And then we go over the page. In safe race control, we've got Anthony Visma and the boys that didn't set a time, Lucas Burt, Joseph Granshaw, and Richo. And let's grab Mr. Stone Street in. It's lost him. Can you hear me, Troy? Jump back there, mate, and I'll drag you up. So what we might do is we might get rid of some screens here and get a few others set up. And just for you, the Bulldog, we are going to light the wick on this one. Everybody ready?
Always.
Always. Righto. And someone's trying to call me, so I'm going to say no to that.
Yeah, let's get the Vindaloo on and see what the kitchen's going to serve up. Looking forward to tonight's race.
Absolutely. Some freshly cooked spaghetti from Pecky's farm. Anyway, let's get on with it now. Let's get going. And we're away. Someone's there's going a little bit slow. I'm not sure who that was. As we jump around the corner. Oh, no, it's on.
Oh. Here we go.
Oh, my God.
The track's blocked. Track's blocked.
That's a car on its roof. That was Rob Vizza sliding down the track. I think we've got about 6 cars that have gotten through this mess. The rest of them, it's just still smoking up. And
poor Visor doing the turtle.
Yeah, poor old Rob. He's tucked back down here somewhere. If I can go jump back down there. Yeah, there's Rob.
His back wheels are still spinning.
Yeah, definitely in a altered state there is poor old Rob. Anyway.
Is that not holding brakes, Mark?
Yeah, well, yeah.
There should have been that calls.
Look at that.
So I don't know about anybody else at this stage, but I was still on 4 wheels, and I was meatballed. Surprisingly. And the car had no pace, no nothing. And it doesn't look very damaged. That's the bit I don't understand.
It doesn't. Maybe a little marking on the front left.
Very little. No, she was meatballed. That was my story. I'll stick to that one. And Brendan Zatera, unfortunately, has jumped back to the pits. And unfortunately, that is Brendan done and dusted. Jump back on here. Have a little quick fix I've got to do.
I'd say there'd be a fair few drivers using up their one quick repair here. And it's a free opportunity too. I know it's just started, but to get those extra 30 litres on, it doesn't look like many are taking that opportunity up the front at the moment.
Nah, that was a surprise thing, to be honest, Scott. Of course, in my situation, I didn't have a choice. But, you know, where I was starting on the grid, it was always in my mind, if we had a safety car on lap 1 being in the back half or in the middle of the grid, if we had a safety car on lap 1, the strategy was to go in and top it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we had a safety car lap 2, and it was straight into the pits, get that full fuel on. We had 5 cars stay out in front who didn't, and yeah, they suffered a little bit later on in race, but it did turn into a bit of a fuel saver for some, and people could make it from here, especially if there was another safety car. You know, you just had to really concentrate on fuel saving. Or go the way a couple of other of us did and make it a 3-stopper and just go flat out.
Yeah, that was pretty much my strategy from here. Go flat out and see what happens. So a few people still shuffling through pit lane. How is the setup this week, Mark?
I did not do a single lap until practice, so the setup didn't get a good feel for it, and I was really quite slow. I actually returned to work from holiday, so I didn't even open up iRacing at all week.
That's fair enough.
And it was just a biased adjustment away from being a perfect setup, Mark.
Well, it could have been.
So at the moment, Lucas Burt is the leader of the guys that have pitted back in 27th. Then we've got Bruce McLeod. He managed to sneak through and get through quickly. Myself. Then everyone else in front of us guys haven't pitted. So Caparonis, Shepherd, Waters, Grenshaw, they were all in that pitting group.
What's a little surprising here was Arnie's got himself up into P1 with Sean into P2, and Stone Street dropped back to P3. I'm not sure why he dropped back at P3. Was that him getting the a little bit of wheel spin off the start maybe cost him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there was a little bit of that going on. I did have Troy about to jump in before, and I've lost him. So
Yeah, Troy spun on the line. I was right behind him, Scott, and had to quickly come off. So yeah, he just never got that really good, getaway, and so we got jumped. Both of us got jumped by a couple of guys at the start there.
Roger, he was 6/10 quicker in quali, so he's definitely got the speed to push through. It'll be interesting to see how he goes about it. Tough track, and to get the overtake done with this gearing, referencing the setup this week, which was a good setup, I thought, John. But we did. You had to plan your moves with the gearing, especially on the straight, and get that really good run off. What is it? Turn 19, I guess. Turn 18. You get that run off there, then you could probably get the pass down into turn 2.
yeah, he definitely wanted to get that move done coming over Tozer. That was mega important to happen. That one enough. Safety car out on lap 3 here. Else slipping into the pits. I think that was Ed Fox this time. Sanford, Sholton, Simons all going in.
Evening, Troy.
Right.
We got him in. That's all right. How are you, Troy?
Yeah, well, thanks, John. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Jumped a little bit here, mate, at the start from Arnie and Cullen.
Yeah,
Sure.
I did. I spun him up at the start.
So it was you going slow that caused the pile-up.
Could have had something to do with it. There was a few spin-ups.
I never took you out, mate. I was the right foot. The right foot would quickly come off. So I was right behind you.
It was very hectic anyway. The annoying bit is, like, you think you've got a gap and I'm okay, and then all of a sudden someone goes across and goes bang. It's like, okay. I think poor old Dave Baldock, he literally stopped, then, was waiting, and then all of a sudden got clobbered by people moving. Bit unlucky for him. Of course, a big thank you too to our safety car sponsor, Parramatta Isuzu Utes. Of course, part of the West End Motor Group. These things like Too Easy Finance and West End Mazda.
I
Parramatta
wish he'd actually
City
pay me
Develop.
something for driving this car. I haven't seen a single dime from him yet.
Take it up with Mr. Luke. Yeah, he's doing really well. Mr. Dial. Let me just continue on it. So this was time to recompose. Have a quick look. Arnie Cullen, that's Shawnee, Troy Stone Street, Pete Kelleher up 1 spot into first, Ed Cullen down 2 into 5th, Jamie Peters 6th, Michael Hayes up 11 spots into 7th, Darren Walden up 13 into 8th, Pato up 8 into 9, Scotty Perrins up 3 into 10, Zippy up 8 into 11, Anita up 16 spots into 12. So that's a great start from Anita.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, John, and that there was a couple of big movers, and Anita was one of them up into P12, making big gains there. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely pretty good work there from Anita. Michael Yo up 13th and 9th, Darren Friend in 14th, Clapham up 5 in the 15th, Carl Pickering up, and then I think you're about to go, are you, Mark? Yep. Dial is off. And yeah, some other big names up into the top 20 is Pickering, Marsh, Williamson, Richardson, Johnston, Vermey, and then we've sort of got Baldock, Burt, McLeod, Van Ree. So a little bit of a mixed up pack at the moment, as I reckon Dave's holding them right up here.
It is. It'd be interesting to know what Ed and Troy's thoughts are on this restart as they go away. Gets a big jump too, Arnie. He's gone.
Yeah, well, we're trying to, keep it packed up as much as possible, but we never even had a chance to settle in, when you don't get that first couple laps in. So you're conscious of cold tyres, so.
And it was interesting too, that was our first restart with the 3 car lengths as well. So it was interesting a little bit further up the back, the amount of people checking up trying to make sure they're within that 3 car lengths. There was a lot of accelerate, brake going on in the group.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand that ruling and the reason it had to come in. I thought that you'd want to be as close as you could be behind the car in front anyway.
Oh, within 3 car lengths is what you got to be now. So you can literally be bump drafting or sitting back 3 car lengths. But the idea was to stop it being any bigger than that. Because I think the issue was can't remember what split or who it was now, but a couple of races ago we had somebody that was 10 or something car lengths back, which was creating a bit of stir.
Yeah, that would annoy me too.
Yeah,
if I was behind that one.
Yeah, so the idea was just to try and make sure now we've got something for race control to be able to say hey, which is what the idea was. Of course, we've got the Rattler in the chat as well tonight. Pete Keller here doing relatively well.
Yeah, the tennis ball, he's up there. He's been serving it up in the top 5 recently. He's still going really well, Pete.
Very well.
So everyone's got a bit of a scare on that start and taking it pretty easy by the looks of it these first few laps. Sure they're going to heat up as the laps go on, but yeah, everyone's been well behaved at the moment after that start.
Yeah, definitely. I think everyone realising we still had a long way to go, which is pretty much what the talk was during the safety car. Still a long way to go. He was still had 60 laps.
I was a bit nervous about it. I was thinking of the long road ahead and how to save tyres at this stage. But yeah, Pete was coming on quick, so I had to get going.
Yeah, well, I was sort of dawdling a bit there behind him, and I went, oh, geez, that gap's getting bigger. So even I had to sort of hustle up a bit just to get back on the train. Look at the gap already, yeah.
I can confirm that the Adrian is using his new wheel, his new second-hand wheel, the M10. He has finally got it on, and he is away on a direct drive. So, yeah, hopefully as the weeks go by, he might find a little bit of pace or get sore arms, one of the two.
Doing relatively well. I was just about to say, there's a few bigger names down the back, so sort of tucked up behind Jono. We've got McLeod, Caparonis and Shepherd, so some of the bigger names battling their way through here at this stage. Definitely very mixed up field. As you can sort of see Pato under a bit of pressure from Adrian. Adrian under pressure from Michael.
John, you highlighted Michael Ho. Big welcome to Michael Yeo. His first race with V8 FX.
Yep.
He was quite active about 10 years ago in the iRacing V8 scene, so it's nice to see him back amongst us.
He's going to have a look on the outside. This is a tough run here because they'll both be on the limiter, and it's going to turn into a 3-way fight here. Yeah, they got it done. They sorted it out. Looked like those two actually backed out of it and let Michael Yeo. Yeo, is it Yeo? How you pronounce it?
I'm not 100%.
Take that one.
Call him Yoey. I call him Yoey. He's only just put his rig together, so he's still feeling his way through new equipment. He said, "Wow, it's changed from say 8 years ago." I said, "You got a lot big learning curve, mate." But he was a very, very good racer back in the day. So,
sorry, go ahead, John.
I was going to say we've got some pretty good battle packs forming around the track.
Nice clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky there.
They won't be happy with that. Sort of tightens the track there, makes it a little difficult. So maybe they both came in on each other a little.
Just the slightest of touches too, wasn't it?
Yeah. The tough part of a track to try and make a move. Lap 7. You come down the back of that Patterson battle. They're still going on, these boys. All of them looking a bit battle weary as well. Williamson nicely tucked up the back there, having a good start.
Just a question for Troy. Troy, did the lap time surprise you? How slow we're actually running?
Oh, well, it did compare to qualifying, obviously, but I think everyone had the same mindset, especially after the bingle in the takeoff. It was, yeah, I know I was just kind of thinking, just sort of let it settle in and take it easy, see
Just kept it
how
off
it
the
sort
fence.
of, see how it all sort of unfolds.
Yeah, and also these big sweepers do chew the tyres out on these V8s too. So I was
Yeah,
conscious
absolutely, yeah.
of a time where.
And Simon there getting caught up with Darren Frank.
Yeah, Darren looked like he had a bit of pace there, and it was looking racy. But yeah, that's unfortunate for Simon. He's got a long drive ahead of him now to recuperate that position's lost.
Yeah, definitely. Bit of work for the boys back there. Shawnee's still doing quite well here. Still got Troy up behind him. Pete Kelleher's the one doing really well. Got that tennis ball bouncing along nicely behind these two. Might just check on how Scotty Perrins is going. If I can find him on my list. Where are you, Scotty? You're in the pits already. Scotty's coming out of the pit there. Oh yeah,
He
Scott.
hasn't had much luck the last couple of starts. He's last couple of races. He's had bad luck at the start. Spent a bit of time in the pits, unfortunately, for Scotty.
Getting back on track here.
So he's down a bonnet, got a fair bit of damage going. I wonder whether he's used his fast repair already, or and is the reason he didn't get it fixed up then.
Not sure. That's only his first stop, so I would have probably thought he might have used it. But anyway.
So he's the first stopper that's filled up. So is that what we're saying? He's
come in for his pit stop, but he hasn't. He's pitted on lap 6 as his first stop, basically.
Yeah. So lap 6, we know he can make it all the way home with another full tank after that, flat out without fuel savings. So he should be good to go.
Could be.
Still surprising he hasn't fixed the car.
Yeah. Not sure what the story is there a little bit.
Didn't have the faster fair ticked.
Yeah, that could be the question.
Quite possibly.
It's continuing on here with this battle.
Starting to get a bit, looking at Dave getting away here, thinking to get going. He was pretty quick at this stage. Got a gap there.
Yeah, it looks like you're starting to get the heat on and get a bit serious about trying to get this pass done, Troy. And
nicely done.
Yeah, got that in nicely done there, mate. You head down to go get Arnie now, who's that 4.5 seconds ahead of you.
Our little brother, some nice paint on his car this week.
Yeah, looking pretty sharp.
Yeah.
So I think Pete's sort of lining himself up here too. He's seen Troy get past Sean, and he's like, yeah, I want a bit of that pie, and might try and get a pass on shortly too.
Well, Squinch's an apology tonight. He's doing his final prep, get himself going for tomorrow, last round of the New South Wales Opera Series at Sydney Motorsport Park. So it's a day-night event if anyone's around. I believe it's free entry if you're in the Sydney area, if you want to go out and watch some motorsport. Have a look for some Muppet driving a VH Commodore and go say hello. Sure he won't bite. Much.
How are we all?
Hey, Bruce.
G'day, Bruce.
And if you do go see him, make sure it's BYO, your own stickers, and be sure to put it on his car. You'll love that.
I wouldn't laugh, Scott. You're about the only team member that hasn't been stickered.
I know, I live too far away for you to get me at the moment.
At the moment.
I went through the whole Bathurst weekend without getting stickered. I think I've done well. Not that I know of, anyway.
I was going to say you might not know of it.
Nah, it's not there.
Have you really looked hard enough?
I was going to say you'd be
It's
surprised
not
when it
there.
comes to the speak.
Fine.
Lap 10. Where's Richo? How's Richo getting on? Richo, he's back in this battle here with Bruce and Jim Cabaronis in front. Old mates and sons.
The boys from the back.
Oh, it was a big battle back here.
Yeah, so I don't know how much you saw. So Jim and I both had to pit after the little thing on lap 1. So I worked out I had both my doors and my roof were undamaged, so that was okay. So Jim and I are both on full tanks of fuel and running along at this stage.
But I noticed, John, that you were between them, and you've got a nice little jump at this stage from the restart.
Yeah, I just got lucky, I think, is what the word you'd use.
Traffic did play a big part.
Yeah.
Oh.
At this point, I hit 9x. So I was concerned I hit hit Jeff when that happened, but he lost it in front of me, unfortunately. I had no idea.
Yeah, he done that all by himself.
Not a lot you could do about that one, Bruce.
Unfortunately, because I wish I could have done something about it and avoided him, but...
Wow, it was tough going up the back.
So that's a good point there that you brought up, Bruce. You're at a 9x already on lap 11. So it's going to be interesting to see how 17x's, is our limit tonight and how many will get a penalty. I know quite a few did in split 1, went over the boundaries quite easily. So I'll be interested to see how many of the split 3 guys and girls go past their 17 incident limits.
So it was definitely an ongoing discussion between Ed and myself. I'd hear Ed swear, and then what's going to go? I guess, I almost got an X. It's like, God damn it, Ed. so that was banter going on all night. But the other thing too is, I sort of in my head worked out a loophole in the way we do our rules as well, and I don't know how. I don't think it's one we can close insofar as that. If I was hypothetically at 17x and the safety car came out, I can take an X during the safety car, get my drive-through, and serve it under the safety car.
Yeah, we actually had that discussion last night, believe it or not, in split 1, and someone else was very close, had a lot of incident points, and they're like, I could just go off the track 4 more times and pit under safety car, and do my drive-through, but obviously vets, it's not in the spirit of the league, and I think most people wouldn't do it, and they didn't do it, but it was just an interesting point of discussion.
Pete.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because the other league that I'm involved in, the F3 league, we actually don't use the iRating system that comes from iRacing. We use iRace Control, and it basically, if you get a drive-through for that, it actually clears it for you, and it actually gives out the penalties itself. So it keeps track, and we actually have if you do 4 laps with no X's, it actually takes an X off you, and so it tracks it independently of iRacing. The other thing, what we do is that system, we have it set to if we get, I think it's 15x in 5 seconds, it's what throws our safety cars. So we sort of let that run in the background, and then we just do our commentary. It's interesting. There's different ways to do it.
Yeah, so I don't think the tennis ball will be very happy about that. He's put himself right in a bit of an angry crowd here. So at least he's still going round.
Yeah, there was definitely battle packs all up and down the field, I found, wherever you were.
Yeah, that was a good move by Jamie then. Threw it up the inside. Not a lot I could do there.
iRace Control's out and run by most leagues, Roy. It's a very good bit of software, very good bit of kit. I know we use it in the Pro Series as well. We use it at East Coast. Not sure how we go about it though, doing it with subscriptions across 3 splits in vets. That'd be the only catch to it.
We do use it for vets, but we don't use it. We don't give it control because it doesn't handle manual safety cars at all. That's the challenge.
We've got Jeff Sanford said he finished with 16x, so he was very cautious on his last lap, which, yeah. So I'd imagine a few would have been getting up on there with their incident limits.
Yeah, I know of myself that I was watching myself very closely at this stage because of the 7 or 8 that I'd picked up in that first accident. But just... Carl. Gets that going. Yep. Tumbles down a few spots. Is Pete having another crack back at Peters?
It's not quite the tennis ball, but please remind me not to have a bright green livery.
Nothing wrong with a bright green livery.
I love it. I reckon it's fantastic.
It's great on track. You know when Pete's behind you. There's 2 people you don't want behind you. And one's Pete, and the other one is Adrian Zeal with Gunter staring at you.
You definitely don't want that behind you.
I don't know. I've had the blue 37 behind me a few times, and that's not exactly exciting either.
He doesn't intimidate me anymore.
It's funny how we go through cycle colours. Like about 2 seasons ago, I think there was a lot of us running orange in our liveries, and now there's like like we've got that sort of. If you look at Ed's car there, we've got the blue and the black, which a lot of the Player 1 cars run very similar colours to us. I know we get them mixed up occasionally, and then there's a lot of the greens now as well. So it's interesting how the colours cycle.
So you're watching this unfold here, Ed, and I'm pretty sure Jamie just let Peter go through, and there he goes off track.
I actually let Jamie through, and I backed off. Because my tyres were feeling a bit ordinary about now, Scott.
Easy sneaks through there as well.
Yeah, costly mistake for
Pete.
for the tennis ball there. Yeah, unfortunately, that was turning into a good battle.
I could really feel the tyres, not so much going off, but they weren't feeling as grippy as they were at the start. And I thought the last thing I want to do now is battle with these tyres on.
Well, let's check on how Anita's getting on. He looks like she's had a bit of a rough trot there. Car looking a bit second hand.
There's a bit of damage going on there. That's going to affect that straight line speed and front end grip for sure.
Having a crack though. She's still pushing on. Still sitting in 25th up 3 spots, so that's great. Leader's actually starting to get a lot quicker. Which I've noticed a few times racing around her that they actually have to race now to get past her.
Look at Hazy up into 6th spot, John.
Yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah, he's a bit of a sly fox at some tracks, isn't he?
Yes, doing very well up 12. Bolden and Yo up 13 spots as well. Grenshaw are up 18 spots in 22nd.
Wow. Yeah, Joseph, yeah.
See a lap behind you. Anyway, work that one out. And I missed my corner.
So looking at the track map, there's only a couple of little gaps there that if you could pit now and bring yourself out into those gaps, get a bit of clean air, you could really make some good ground. But yeah, you'd have to time it to make sure you come out in that clean air. Otherwise the field's pretty spread.
Oh, just misses there.
Well done, Bill.
You underpants required?
Yeah. Another X, thank you very much.
Darren working his way through the field. Yeah, tyres were going off on lap 13, 14, so that explains Pete.
Yeah.
Yep. Pete in the background though, he's still pushing on. So he's on lap 15 now. Another guy I haven't mentioned too much of, if I can quickly find him. Can't find him.
Troy just went and set the fastest lap. Last lap there. So lap 14. Troy Stone Street, fastest lap.
Yeah, he's coming. He's coming, Dave.
I kind of looked after my tyres and thought, well, I haven't got long till pit, so I might as well use up what I've got left. I think actually missing the start was kind of a blessing to sort of save my tyres at the start and then come home strong in this first stint.
Yeah, the clean air would have helped Troy.
Yeah. Yeah, I could feel Dave coming back to me a bit through these last 5 or 6 laps.
You've taken 2 seconds out of him since you moved into P2, so yeah, you're definitely hunting him down.
I don't think we had the back markers play a big role at this stage, but yeah, soon they do. You're always on the lookout.
Yeah, you're always on the lookout, but I found they were pretty.
Yeah,
they were very good last night.
Yeah, I did too. I thought everyone was great. It was, hardly got slowed up at all. It was a very clean race for some anyway.
Little battle here with Simon.
Yeah, you've caught him up quite quick. He's minus the boot, but you're on the hunt here, John. Looking very racy.
I found the car when it was full was a lot more balanced. Felt a lot more comfortable for me. Of course, I took the 110 litres in lap 1.
Yeah, and that's what I found as well was when you dropped it. Well, I know you were saying you felt the car was a bit balanced, but you've definitely got the pace on him. You're probably going to get this move done down in turn 2. It's gone defensive, so but yeah, the cars that didn't pit, a nice move there too, John. Well done.
Nice move, John.
The cars that didn't pit, they had that earlier pace on those that did because they had that lighter fuel load. But like I said, after a few laps, it evened itself out, and they both come back together with tyres versus fuel load weight.
We'll just put that one into the end of the list for the poll later, Mr. Baldock, for pass of the century.
I think the interesting thing about that one, Scotty, is where you're going to go with your strategy. Because if you pitted on lap 1 and took 110, that's sort of you committed to run a lot longer on those tyres. So then it sort of comes down to, I think, if you can conserve your tyres with that full fuel load, that means you'll be a bit racier at the end. But if you want to have more even stints, I can easily see why people were thinking, just not pit on lap 1 because it is lap 1, because you're still gonna have two stops no matter what. So I can definitely understand why some people stayed out being another critical lap.
Yeah, but also it gave you the options if another safety car did come.
Yep.
Or does come.
Just because you qualify at the front, if you reshuffle back into 25th or 30th, you don't. It's a hard track to get back up into the top 5. So you just don't automatically just race back to the top 5. So I didn't want to give up track position. I know that.
What are you saying, Ed?
I'm saying it's tough to come back from the back, These cars are so even in a straight line, and a lot of these guys know where to brake, and you can't just send it up the inside, just to...
Yeah, no, my strategy before the race, which I pretty much held to, was pretty much not try to pass anyone, just sit behind them and wait till I make a mistake.
I'll say at this stage, myself, I could see Wayne Shepherd coming. So we know how quick Wayne is. I was like, I've got to get going.
He's very clean too, Wayne.
I thought one of the really good opportunities was at the Virante Alta turn 14-15. I thought that was a great overtaking opportunity, especially if you got off 12-13 really good. You slip up that inside, no worries there.
Yeah, if you get out of Aquaminerale, you're set. And as tyres went off, you found a lot of guys struggled getting grip coming up the hill.
Yep, exactly, yep.
I think that's one of my favourite corners on iRacing, actually, the way you swing it and come up there. If you get it right, it's full throttle, full noise. If you don't, it's definitely sideways into the wall.
And how you got a balance coming in as well, coming into Aquaminerale.
I'm just a bit disappointed that iRacing doesn't have the alternate layout for this track.
The old layout.
Nicely done.
The old classic layout.
Yeah.
Changed.
nicely done by Wayne there. He's got you, John, in his sights now. His eyes forward, so he's definitely got the pace to burn at the moment.
Jim now, next man in the line.
So where do we think he's looking here? Down at turn 7, possibly up the inside is one, a bit far back. So, I don't know about you guys, but this was a second gear corner for me with this gearing.
Yeah, second gear.
Yeah. To look after your tyres out the back of that corner off every time. It's a super technical track, but yeah, this section down through here was great fun, as you said.
Oh yeah, love this bit.
It's probably one of my favourite tracks, always has been this one.
Okay, he's going to try and set him up here by the looks of it if he gets a drive off here. No, he didn't get it. So, yeah, Simon doing a really good job to hold him at the moment. Cool.
And another look.
Just having a look. Yeah.
Good
Pick
traffic.
a side. Pick a side.
Oh,
that was close. Oh.
It's one way.
Yeah, that's one way to make a pass.
Look. So he's such a good. He never fought the second corner. You see, so
that's Darren. He's just had a whoopsie at turn 1. That's might drop him back from 8th.
he was going really well too.
Very well.
Adrian has got a free pass along with Yao.
And might just drop back to Mr. Waters. How's he getting on? He's got Bulldog a bit of a distance away he's behind, but he's got Jono in his sights.
Up 11 spots, just nicely.
Yeah. Scotty Perrin's a lap down behind. Oh, hang on to it, son. Hang on to it. Oh, Scotty! Oh.
Got it. Oh.
That was so lucky.
That's some good.
Pedals are straight. Carry on.
Scotty got a new bonnet too. That could have been the end of that.
Go and buy yourself a lottery ticket.
Yeah, 100%. If Neil didn't have those mechanics gloves, he wouldn't have saved that.
That was just good
Check him out
driving.
and play one.
This is good driving all the way around there.
John Gallen talking about fatigue with a enduro. Definitely know all about that one at the moment.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. Fatigue was an issue. So you just tried to pick for me, I was just trying to pick a number to drive to, a lap time, and try and just be consistent and be within that few tenths of that number all the time. So that's sort of how I try and manage the enduros. But yeah, it was fatiguing and hard work for sure. Good challenge.
Troy, what are you doing at the front with the pace? Are you just going as hard as you can? Are you driving to Dave's pace? How are you approaching it?
No, at this stage I was like,
hang on to it, son. Hang on to it, son.
No.
I was close to pitting, so it was just go for it. Use up what I had left.
Yeah, you got yourself past Dave now.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for Jamie. He was having a good run till then.
Yeah, I certainly felt it after the race. What was it, 60 odd laps around here? It was hard work at the end.
Yeah, I think me and Bruce was keeping ourselves occupied with the comms. Couldn't go quiet for a while, and then we started a little conversation going just to break it up, just to relax you a bit, and just keep you focused.
Ed, you're into the pits, mate. You're the first of the top boys to blink.
Yeah, I just thought maybe undercut could have been on Shawnee there. Could have been a go. But it was just, sometimes you go, yep, I felt the tyres and I went, yeah, let's get in there.
Yeah, so Kelleher and Pete in as well. Jamie, sorry. And Pete
having
Kelleher.
the early safety car open the windows up a bit too.
Definitely changed everything.
Yep.
So there's probably two ways these drivers could go about it. They could go for a full fuel at the moment, or they could split their fuel load to the end. So it'll be interesting to see who goes for the undercut by splitting the fuel load and who goes, no, I'm going to put it all in and then have a shorter second stop.
Or they could try and go short and have it fill anyway.
Yes, because I set it at 80 on the grid, but when I went in there, High Racing said, no, you get 110. So it didn't bother me because, at the end, it all.
Dave's going with him. What do you do here, Sean? Reckons he going to go in as well?
Especially with this particular set, it felt really good on full tanks. So I don't think it was a burden at all, to be honest, to take more. Sometimes it can matter. Didn't really feel like it did.
And we certainly went and set the world on fire with our lap time, so we weren't punishing the tyres. So.
Will Hazy go past and keep going? Hazy's in too. Michael Yo, is he the next one in the list? None of these boys rolling out yet. Michael's in. Darren's in. So it looks like we have a new race leader.
John's like, I want to lead a lap. So
yeah, that first of those big first stoppers we're filling up all the way to the 111 litres has put you up on the front row here, John. Giving you a couple options for later on.
Here comes Jim and Bruce.
So Troy's out, Kappas is out, McLeod is out. So interesting, Kappas has jumped everybody there. So let's have a quick look at his pit time. So, of course, I was in 16 seconds because I was in that first stop. 44 for Stone Street. Kappas was only in for 16. Kappas was in that first stop as well. So was Bruce, and then Dave Arnie's put 53 in. So I'd probably say, Troy, you went for the 80 litres. Dave's gone for the full tank.
That's an interesting one by Jim to pit in the first stop and then come in just for a short fill here of 18 litres, which was probably around about...
No, Jim pitted in lap 1, I think. Was when Jim pitted.
Yeah, lap 1. Yeah. And then came in for that stop then as well. No. Is that right? Or?
No, he didn't. So...
Oh, okay, right.
The pit laps up there, so there you go. There's a few of us that are all lap 1, lap 2.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I'll make it easier to throw that graphic up.
Yeah, I was shocked to see
there we go.
In front of me. Yeah. Jacob's up 32 spots.
Yeah.
So that's a good grab to have a look at, and it'd be good to see that come the second stops as well.
Yeah. And go back to battle box. So if you start lap 22, I'll just have a quick look at Lucas is travelling with Carl. This is a good little battle here. There's still good little battle packs all the way through the place. Lucas up 13 spots.
So, John, what were you thinking at this stage with Troy 6 seconds behind you?
With Troy 6 seconds behind me, as Troy and I are running two completely different strategies.
Yeah, I knew that, but...
and if he catches me, he catches me. But you do get a statistical point for every time you lead a lap. So at this stage, I was head down, bum up, pedalling hard, and just reminding Baldock that you do get an extra stat for every lap you lead.
Ooh.
Oh, he's got back on. Nice work by Carl. That's lap 23. Jump on with Clapham. Simon. He's starting lap 23. A few more peeling in. Walden in this time. And Anita. Also going back to what Scott was saying, you know, I had pretty good clear track in front of me, so I was, keep pushing on.
Yeah, you would run it as long as you could here, John. I'd imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. Praying for a safety car about now.
Well, you did have a 6-second lead. It's now down to 2.4. Yeah. Bloody hell, Troy.
It's fresh rubber.
And Troy,
Old rubber.
And Troy will be going, I'm not going to battle that Muppet. But he's coming.
I must admit, I was not wishing for a safety car at this point.
You weren't?
No, it was after I'd stopped for the second time and I had enough fuel to go to enough gap in my tank to go to the end. That's when I was wishing for the safety car. It's a magical 5-stop window. I'm like, come on.
So,
Did it happen or not? We'll see.
So, John, the guys who pitted lap 1, when was your lap you due to come in for your second tank, if you took the full tank?
You would have about 6 laps left.
Oh, so you were around the 30 mark, were you?
Yeah, I put in 80 litres at my first stop, or this next stop. And then, the second stop after that, I was only putting in 40 litres.
Yeah. No, but I mean, after you filled up on lap 1, what was predicted laps to come in for your next pit stop? Lap 30?
Yeah, lap 30, yeah.
All right, so you've still got six laps to go.
I still got a couple of laps to go, yeah. I was just ticking those stats off, Ed. And each time across the stripe, I was letting Baldock know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so John's committed to a 3-stopper, that's what I've done in split 1 as well, a 3-stopper, and the others behind him, Troy, Jim, Troy and Dave, committed to a 2-stopper at this stage.
Yeah.
25.
If you're going to run that 3-stopper, you've got to be on the hunt. You've got to just go fast and, and whereas others may have to save a little bit of fuel pending, when they came in and how much they took on, etc.
Yeah, I don't think the fuel saving, I didn't hear any chatter about that in split 3, Scott.
No, we had guys fuel saving when they pitted on lap 2, and they made it from lap 2 with a full tank, and then coming in one more stop. So they made it effectively a 2-stopper pitting on lap 2. So it could be done. Can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I realised after the race because the way things shake out, I realised that I should have been more aggressive on my fuel saving. That's for sure. Wouldn't have mattered in the end, but I would have had more options if I did.
Yeah.
So I got past that lap traffic, Ed, and got the gap out to 3.4.
Yeah, I noticed that.
You muscled your way through that good.
How old's that profile picture, John?
What's wrong with James Hunt?
Just showing your age, mate, that's all.
Yeah, Pete Kelleher saying he did a 2-stopper as well.
Yeah.
So interesting ways to go about it, that's for sure.
That's why I like those longer races. They can change on a dime, but 2 stops have to happen.
Yeah, well, I'm went from 4th to 9th, and I've been running in 9th for a while now, but not, just knowing that the whole thing was thrown out of whack. Not too sure where the cards were going to fall either, so, you just still got to get those laps under your belt and just, hope that your strategy is sound.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
No, Ben, the timing tower is not broke. That is John Van Ray leading this race. Lap 26.
Who's this Ben Anthony?
Yeah, never heard of him. Never heard of him.
You come
First time chatter.
Yeah.
Yeah, long time
You
watcher.
subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe, Ben.
So one thing I must admit, I really do prefer the two-stop races. I would much rather have much more restricted fuel, and have two-stop races, or even three stops in almost every race.
I agree.
Because to me the idea of just run it till it's empty, fill it up, that's just boring, to be honest.
I'm the other way, Bruce. I would rather have unrestricted fuel, but mandatory two stops.
Interesting.
What I would like iRacing to do is have multiple tyre compounds.
Oh, now you're talking.
That'd be making it
And you have to run two compounds, and a definite speed difference between both. Then and leave fuel open. Then it'd be on.
Yeah.
It's coming along with rain.
I was going to say, so there's going to be one wet, one dry.
I'd actually like to see them start restricting the amount of tyres you can use.
Looking forward to 2030.
I think you're definitely right on that one, Mark. But I think the big thing is you can't leave the pits with used tyres. Basically, like what I mean by that is, your new car, you can't get a new car and they go, okay, I want to use an old set of tyres on the fresh car. And that would be
sure iRacing is smart enough to.
Oh, they could do it. They could do it, but I just they haven't chosen to do that.
Sanford's into the pits.
Just going back to your 2030 comment, John. Is that when UI is going to be fixed? Is it?
Yeah, might get fibre by that stage.
6G or 7G, John.
Yeah.
So I don't know if any of you watched the more what is it, the Raw for More, or the 2.4 hour race that was for the charity. And because during that video, I think his name, Greg West, came on and gave a whole big update about what's coming with the physics engine and changes in the background and dynamic weather and things like that. And one of the other things is like the number of, not that matters for this league, but the number of cars is going to basically go almost unlimited, I think. So they're going to be able to now run races with 7 GT3s, 4 GT LMDHs, and LMP2s all on the track at the same time. So it's they're definitely making some big changes, and I think what you're seeing now is the results of the investment from COVID going back into the platform.
Yeah. And they've also picked up some pretty good staff as well. To back up that development.
Yeah, exactly. They were acquired, was it Slightly Mad Studios, as acquisition, some other stuff as well. So there's definitely some big back-end changes which have been going on, which
starting to be felt.
Exactly, which we'll see.
No, that's not a bad time, John. 45.6 at this stage.
Yeah, tyres were pretty second-hand. Wouldn't be lying if I didn't say that.
Just going back to that updates too, as you notice our quarterly updates or whatever, I mean, they're fairly substantial, but you don't see them visually. So, like Bruce was saying, yeah, but a lot of it's for the background and for future stuff, so.
Well, one of the big things that they've just recently done is more noise engine, one of the little things that they've just done is actually redo the modelling for tyres, tyre walls and things like that to try and reduce the size to speed up the loading when you load up the server.
Okay.
Yeah. Made a big change with that. I thought you were talking about the change in the tyre modelling, John, which is also really
interesting.
That's finite state model as well, so that's coming as well. It'll definitely go car by car, and I'm pretty sure that this supercar is at the end of its update cycle. There won't be any more changes made to this particular car.
Nah, they're waiting until about the Gen 3 now.
Yeah.
There is one thing I've noticed with these updates, especially over the last two that we've had, is my frame rates on my graphics card has gone down on certain tracks dramatically. So, the old 2080 Ti, she's starting to struggle running triple 1440p's at the moment. So, yeah, but on some tracks it's good still. On others, it's gone down quite a lot.
Just trying to focus on the battle for the lead, Hamish.
Still out in front, John.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still there.
And to be completely honest, I never even noticed. So props to you. Because I don't have live standings that tells me the whole field. So.
Mr. Baldock knew about it. That's all that mattered.
So, Scotty G, like I was saying earlier, on my relative, it was just me and Blue either side for the whole race. I didn't have a clue what was going on.
Yeah.
So a relative screen would have been handy for the first time in about 5 years, but it was just one of those races where I just had lap cars in front of me and behind me for virtually the whole race. It was crazy.
Yes, I think at this point I'm just enjoying some clear air as well.
Yeah, he just made the most of it.
Just running by myself.
Now, you're going to probably let Troy through as easy as you can here, John, and if you don't need to pit shortly, that is, and maybe leech another lap off him, you know?
He probably wants one more lap across the stripe, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I'm just showing up for Hamish now. Put it this way, after the incident before turn one, it was like this was actually quite a nice fun moment of the race.
I bet.
Yeah, that's right. Come by, Troy. Have it easy. All yours. Normal broadcast can resume now.
And I've just pitted.
Yeah, I was going to say we're just approaching that 30 laps now.
Yeah.
So were you thinking about John after that?
After
this
that,
lap?
yeah, I was coming in this lap. That's why I was happy to let Troy past, and yeah, it was just going to put 80 litres in. That'd leave me with about 10 to get home, and I'd be happy with that.
These guys are battling a bit all night.
Yeah, they've definitely found their pack again, a little bit further down than where they both were earlier, but yeah, they're back into it, which is good.
And Hazy starting to shape up to join him as well.
And did you say
Shepherd?
80 to get home, John?
No, 80. Put 80 on this one, then head 40 to get home. Basically.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, 'cause at this point I went I was scratching my head going, doing the maths in my head going, oh yeah, it's another 80 and that'll get me all the way because I've already stopped once. Then I'm like, no, you idiot, you stopped on lap 1, you're doing 2 more. So I took another 110 here.
I thought I chipped out.
Yeah, that was
Mr. Joseph Granshaw up 34 positions.
I'm going, when is he going to pit?
But yeah, he'll be in, that'll go back down shortly. You'll have to pit, surely. So if you pitted now, Bruce, you can't make it home from here, is that right? You would have to have another pit stop.
34 was the magic number to get home, so you'd be looking for a safety car or some pretty good fuel saving for the whole journey.
It depends. Do I go a lap down or not? So there's a lap. So if you go a lap down, there's a lap you don't need. So that knocks one off. So the question is, can you save 3 laps of fuel? You've got a couple under safety car, so I'd say that knocks roughly another one off. So I think you probably had to save a lap and a half.
Yeah, you'd have to commit now and then hope for a safety car. If there isn't a safety car, you're in a bit of trouble.
I wasn't hoping yet. I was waiting for enough space in the tank for that extra 5 laps.
So you see, guys, I was sitting in 9th for quite a bit of time there, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, okay, yeah, I'm in 4th again.
So I'll be interested to see where Joseph comes out. He's in pit lane. So from his gain of 34 positions, it'll be interesting to see how many he's actually gained by running longer here.
Hamish pointing out that the Infinity Boys now have got a new title sponsor in Simri.
Very nice.
Nicely done, yep.
But just quietly, Joseph was driving really good.
Watching where he comes out. He's on his way out now.
Yeah, he's on pit exit.
There's a big pile of smoke just there.
Hey.
Just out of shot.
2. I hope that wasn't Kappa's.
So
What about
26 positions for Joseph. He's made massive gains by that strategy. So yeah, good call on him.
See some of the gaps there, guys. How they're really blown out to the guy in front, to the guy behind.
Yeah, it was
In our
definitely...
in our normal racing, John, there's a lot of yellows and reds. There's little battle packs all the way around, and
at this stage, there's not many. Easy keeping Jamie honest though.
We're saying it is there's no Cullen on Cullen action happening.
Yeah, I was trying, but I was still bloody a fair way away from.
So, Mike, were you guys getting bored in race control at this point?
No, we're having a ball. We're actually watching, some good battles. We're also watching Split 1 party. We were having a party.
Because I reckon probably about a quarter got called in of stuff that happened on track. Because there's stuff happening on track all over the place, but there's obviously many calls.
Well, we did see a few that didn't get called in, and we thought, we were waiting for the call, but nothing come through.
It's a nice looking livery on Michael Hayes' car there, the Benny T's. The blue and the orange goes well together.
Agreed.
Jeff Sanford saying Joseph's defending really well last night. Very hard to get past.
I think that was off track.
At 33. Yeah, good little battle pack here still.
So, John, do you have the off-track count or not at the replay? I'm trying to remember.
Can you get it? I don't think I have the accurate iRacing one.
Okay, so if this is the estimate, who's currently leading the off-track battle?
Hang on, I've got to...
It's in the wrong way.
Hang on, I've got to just turn that data on because I don't usually have it. My box.
Yeah,
at the moment, I'm on 13. Caparonis is on 10. 16 for Verme. But like I said, that's where's... Where are you, Bruce? I've got you on 3, but that's the SDK one, which is shot.
Estimation, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so that'd be right, because that'd be 3 off tracks plus my 8 for incidents, so that'd be at 11 at this point.
Michael.
There he goes.
Oh, that was hazy.
Commodore's curse.
Yep, you took that one up, Ed. Blame it one on you.
Yeah.
Of course, that's given someone else a sniff. He's got tyres that are 10 laps younger.
Who would that be, Mr. Benry?
Watch that one. Watch that one unfold. That's good. It's exciting. I'll jump on Jeff Sanford.
Oh, there's a toe.
Yep. And Mr. Crenshaw. Of course, Jeff in the chat is turning into probably more funny than Gunter.
That was a great move.
It was.
A good clean pass. Clean pass given.
And good respect from Joseph over that too.
Yep.
Scotty Perrins there just had a little bit of an off with Dave Baldock.
Oh,
I'm not sure. Dismissed that one.
He's had a rough couple of rounds. The crowd favourite and Scotty Perrins. It'll be hopefully he gets it sorted, drives nice and relaxed, takes the chill pill, and gets around there and gets back up towards the pointy end where he could be.
Well, our round 1 winner, he knows how to do it. He's just got to do it again.
And he was super good at Zolder too, don't forget.
You always need a little bit of luck to go your way.
Oh, well, yeah. Just ask Bruce that one.
Yeah. What does Alan Jones famously say? I'd rather be lucky than good.
Exactly. 30.
Dog agrees.
Yep.
So another funny story Alan Jones used to tell was he was racing before there was telemetry ever. So if he made a mistake and destroyed the car, he'd walk back and go, "Oh boy, something broke," because you could get away with it in those days.
Ooh. Too much man love led to Perrins and Baldock coming together.
They wanted to cuddle at high speed at the apex.
Definitely wouldn't want to be in the middle of that, that's for sure.
Nope.
It's,
Wouldn't be good.
But, Sheppo's jumped right up onto Peters here. He's gaining up real fast, so it's going to turn into a bit of a battle, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah, that second to last corner took a lot of time to get right. Just looking at the data packs and thinking they're braking how late? So it took a while to be able to sort of get that really late brake on the anchors. I had to do a few tweaks with my brakes to be able to do that with my pedal setup. But,
Coming down here, third gear corner.
Yep.
Right, tuck it in nicely, get on that throttle. Looking for fourth gear just before the apex of that turn right there. So that'll give you the run onto this nice little straight before you've got where you can make a massive cut here. Really send it over the curbs. Back down to third. Get it in nice and tight. Try not to get it off track on the exit. Down into your little hairpin here, turn 7. Second gear corner. Try and get the drive up the hill. So Sheppo's working really hard here behind Peters, trying to find that rhythm. They've got you just up there, and, well, a fair way up in front there, Ed. But yeah, same thing. Third gear corner, get the rotation of the corner, back into fourth. Fifth gear down in the corner, looking for, actually quickly into sixth, looking for the 50-metre braking marker. All the way back down into second, get the rotation of the car, feed at the throttle up the hill here, try not to get wheel spin up over the gutter. Short shift to third if you have to. Fourth, back into fifth, just for a little sprint, little shadow on the ground here. Back down into second, try and get the hops, a real bad one for off tracks. They've really tightened it up here in ice racing. Get it back on the throttle. Third, fourth, up to fifth. I was chasing the rev limiter as we came around the turn here into 17, 16, 17, back down to second gear. Get it rotated in again.
You forgot one on the brakes, Scott.
Yep. Once you got the rotation off this last turn from second gear, got up into our third for the exit, and flat out down the straight, lift before your valve bounces to save some fuel. So that was a nice lap with Sheppo on board with him. Well done, mate. Good driving.
Having a stellar season.
Yeah, remember the days where it was take all those handicaps, like do it Monza, but not anymore. Thanks for the F1 car doing laps around here.
Yeah, Jamie's pushing hard here. You can tell by the activity in the rear of that car. He's definitely going to have some little hot spots on those tyres.
Now that's another driver who has a red crack go every week.
Yeah, he definitely
Well, it's
does.
his first. Yeah, it's his first season, isn't it, Ed? Into Vets, and he's having a strong showing, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So I noticed Jim Caparotis is just pitted in behind me at this point.
See, Jim's not having the greatest of nights tonight, but yeah, he's another one of those drivers that, first in and having a great time.
Oh, he's quick.
Mm.
Jim's very quick.
It's been quick all week here too, just quietly. This one would catch you out if you you go on a bit too early on that curb.
I know who's looking at this here and looking pretty hungry is Hazy's right up there. Starting to come in. And you, John, you'd be looking eyes forward too.
Yeah, it's got definitely eyes down, eyes forward, and definitely carrying on at this stage.
It's interesting, most of the lap times have gone out to 46s now, except for Troy, punching in a 44.1.
Yeah. Show off. Look, not too many laps. There wasn't negotiating with a blue flag, involved. So, you're very careful, very conscious.
Yeah, these two definitely still having a cracking battle.
Oh, yeah.
The closest boys on track at the moment. Slowly starting the real hazy in. It's probably about the only one sort of closing in. Troy's about 6 seconds up the road from Dave. Dave, 18 seconds up the road from Sean.
Yeah.
20 seconds
Just
up the
looking at
road from Ed.
Just like your lap times there, Ed, you did a 46.3 to Troy's 44.1, so he pulled out, 2.2 seconds on that one lap alone.
Yeah.
Just walking away out front.
Well, he jumped, him and Dave were about 4 seconds apart there, or 3 seconds, and he's just pulled out. What's he now? 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what that 6 gear on the gearbox is for?
7, mate.
Yeah, that was the 7th one. You hear that, Troy? You get a 5-speed next week, mate.
I just had the same as the first stint. I was like, I haven't got many laps left in fuel. I might as well use up the tyres.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true, actually.
The goal was just to try and keep Dave that 5.5, 6 in the rear, and every now and then he'd get closer. So when I had clean air, it was like, let's get a bit of a gap again.
Because if you just have that little, you have to time your back marker at the wrong time or something like that.
You just had to make the most of the clean air while you could.
Yeah, you needed your buffer around here. There's no doubt about that.
And then he goes, no, Andrew Johnson, very lucky there.
Whoa.
Very lucky.
That was well done by Darren to avoid that. Yeah, because you're coming around in there at speed, and too much angle on that wheel, and the same thing would have happened to him. So yeah, glad those guys sorted that out. But well done to Darren, and John will be disappointed with himself there. He'll try and get that back, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Got to put his head down, get going. Morning, Jono. He'll be watching this over his over breakfast over in New Zealand. Marty Hughes saying he got caught up in the mess at the start. I think 2/3 of the field got caught up in that chaos. And of Jamie Peters now under a lot of pressure from Sheppy.
He's under a lot of pressure. Both looking very racy. You'd be loving this, John and Michael. That'd be like, yep, this is beautiful. Keep fighting, boys.
That's what I was thinking.
I've got a feeling it might be just a matter of time for Wayne to put the move on Jamie here.
He's looking each way.
Jamie's solid. He's not. He doesn't give you much, I tell you. He looks a bit loose at times, but he doesn't give you much.
Speaking of the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Shepherd's just jumped in and joined us. How are you, Wayne?
Oh, I've been on the game for a while actually, but couldn't see the broadcast channel.
You're right.
Hey.
That was partly me. I've been away from the computer for a minute or two, so no, we're right there. Sorted out.
John's been cooking marshmallows out the back, apparently.
Yeah, next door.
Yeah, as long as there's no crispy chicken, mate, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Evening,
He's really good to race with.
Yeah, Pete's good to race with.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I don't know, Scott. I wouldn't be trusting any mushrooms from down your way either.
Oh, mate, there's people in hospital from eating mushrooms down here. Poor buggers.
Oh, here we go. Is this the move?
Yep. Nicely done.
He hasn't got there yet.
Oh, there we go.
Textbook.
Hey, mushrooms
Yeah,
for
okay.
Jeff Sanford.
Very well set up there, Wayne. You'd been looking for a pass for a while, last 3-4 laps, and yeah. So what are you thinking now, mate? You've got the job done. Are you thinking eyes forward, long way to go, 22 more laps? Ed Cullen up in P4. Is that what you're thinking?
A bit of the time distance, and I thought I just need to hold that spot now because I had a lot of lap cars in between me and Ed.
Yeah, definitely got to work hard on that one.
I was pretty grateful to get to 5th anyway. After the start, I went back to last.
Yeah, you've made some good ground and you're showing good speed out there. How's your tyres holding up, mate?
Good. That's what I was going for. I was just going easy on the tyres the whole race.
I remember this bit.
You remember this bit?
Yeah. So this is me just applying my theory of not going to make a move unless it's safe and just trying to put pressure onto the car in front. So
And Sean Cullen in for his stop. The first one to go from the front, boys.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see where it brings him out. You've got a good little fight here, Bruce, with Simon. He's up 10 positions and you're down a bit. But that last pit stop hasn't played out yet, so that'll be...
technically I'm up, what, 20 spots because I was rear of grid at the start. But no, I'm definitely fuel saving in behind Simon, so just trying to get the move done, but also trying to fuel save, just trying to balance it out, not doing anything silly. But put him under pressure, try and force a mistake.
It'll be interesting to see where everything plays out once the last few stops are done and where everyone's at, what tyres they've got, and yeah, it'll be a race to the line.
But you might want to just keep an eye on Simon. I'm not sure what lap it is, but definitely his pit stop is interesting.
Simon, yeah.
Not this time around. So the battle continues. I think we made this like 3 or 4 laps actually, from memory.
So Will Munro, Sheppo is asking, were you fueled to the end now? Or did you?
Yeah, fueled to the end.
So you were fueled to the end? That was, or you had another stop to go?
Hang on, what lap are we on?
42, so 20 to go.
I've got a feeling you'd still need to pit one more time,
Yeah,
Shep.
no, you'd have to stop again.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I didn't stop. I remember.
Someone's playing nicely there. It must have been a blue car and getting out of the way to
Yeah,
keep this
Anita.
battle pack together.
Yep, that was Anita getting out of the way.
Yeah, good job.
So, Bruce, you got Dave on your bum now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Where's that? Yeah, Dave's definitely on the bum, so it's like you let Troy pass before, so trying to make sure you... we're definitely trying to make sure I don't hold up and don't give an advantage one way or the other. Just want to get out of the battle as quickly as possible.
You're a bit like me. I like to get them through as early as possible so I don't have to worry about it.
And also cheekily try and use them as a way to get past the car in front.
Well, they're always good for a tow, aren't they?
Didn't work on this occasion though. Simon was definitely awake to that strategy.
A little tightly contested though. This time you're having a little bit of a sneaky look.
Yep.
So, Bruce, your numbers, what were they telling you at this stage? 43?
Still have a long way. This is when I was praying for a safety car. So this is when I was like, I've got enough. If I get a safety car, I've got enough room to fill to the end. And it would be a very fast stop. So we're sort of doing that, sort of thinking about. I was definitely fuel saving in behind Simon, trying to stretch it as much as I could, but also keep the pace up.
So,
And also
obviously,
sweating the X's at this point as well.
yeah. So Sean's obviously taken the 80 at the first stop. I've taken the 110, and we've sort of reversed at this stage. But like I said, you just didn't know where it was all going to unfold until the last few laps.
Yeah. So I think at this point I was at 16x.
This is where I was playing with you one night.
Yeah.
I'm going, I'm like you, Bruce. I don't want one either. Because at this stage I was 0x. And he goes, piss off it.
111 litres was a bit too much to run one set of tyres.
Oh no, it was fine. It's you got to just be I know for me, I'll just be very mindful of it, and I bring them up and I look after them, and I change my brake bias as I go through the stint to protect them. I think is this the entry? No. So the battle continues again.
Yeah, it all depends how hard you work those tyres early, like you were saying there, Bruce. But I found I could get through on a full tank on them okay. Probably did struggle the last 5 or 6 laps on them. You did notice, but that could also be the fuel load coming off, the rear hot spring perch getting higher as well. Makes a difference.
Yeah, it would be nice to be able to play with the bars as well, because you can definitely get some of it back by doing those adjustments as well. But iRacing is iRacing. We get what we get. All props to the setup builder this week. This is a magic setup from Jamie.
He did well.
It's can't stay feeling the same right through the whole race, I feel.
Yes, definitely agree.
Well, yeah, Chad was right. The last time we were here, he did run with a 1.00 gearing. This round we're at a 1.042, but the season before, in the season 11, he was back on the 1.042 gearing, so same as what we had here. So there's been a bit of switching and changes to it, but I mean, it all works. We all get to race with it, and we're all playing on the same field. So yeah, lads got on with it and got racing, and that was the main thing, you know.
Yeah,
well, the one flat was only good for about here. I mean, the other set was good for all the rest of the track. You know what I mean? So the gear, what I thought the gear was
Hazy.
Keep it.
Here you go, John. Yeah, there's a freebie thing up on that.
Geez, you did well to keep that on the brake stuff.
Yeah, I got Shorty Cullen coming as well after that pit stop as well and everything like that. So
yeah, up in the P5 though.
These tyres. So I felt the 4.2 was great for 99% of the track, just bar that one at the end of the start-finish track.
Yeah, interesting you say that, Ed. If I was to make my own set here, I'd run a 1.00 every day of the week, and I'd race it in any other league or officials with that gearing. But at the same time, it didn't bother me that it was a 1.042. Like I said, we all had it, we're all to run it, and yeah, we're just out there to go racing anyway, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the other setups that I've got access to, they're all with the 0.42 ratio.
Interesting, yeah. Just because the gears are better suited for the,
getting up the corners.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you got a good run out the last turn, you could still get past people at the end of the straight anyway.
Yeah, it's more your skill under the brake pedal rather than straight line speed. Yeah.
I actually noticed that last week at Barcelona as well. The setups I was using before the official set came out were also a different gear ratio that was hitting the limiter at the end of the start-finish track.
Yes, they were, weren't they, both?
Here we go. Is Simon going to make his awesome pit entry at this point?
So Ed and Peters are in?
Yeah, this.
So we would have been the full tanks on the first stop.
Yeah, if this is what I think it is, I might want to jump on Simon as opposed to me and follow him in the lane. I didn't realise this is what happened on the night, but I definitely picked it up in the replay on his pit entry.
That time.
No, one more. I'm done.
Anticlimax.
Another lap.
Oh, jeez.
Not that impressive, but...
Mr. Caperonis chasing Zippy down here now. There's lap 46.
So that's the different fuel strategies at play. So Jim was just ahead of me, I think, or just behind me when the last round of pit stops. So now, which sort of things are shaking out a little bit differently. So let's just have a look.
Yeah, so Jim came in 29 laps out of that first stint, out of the second set of tank. He's done 14 laps in this one, where you, Bruce, had done 28 and 15, so you actually came in a lap earlier than the rest of us.
Yeah.
There's an odd driver in the top 8 there, mate. Who's that?
Some muppet.
There's always one in there.
There's always one, yeah, Rory.
So John's running the same strategy, but he's making it work.
Well, he had that little bit of clear air, and then, especially when he got in the front, clean air, he had those good lap times where he was actually matching Troy there for a fair bit, within a few tenths anyway. So he made good ground, made really good ground during that stint.
He also didn't make some of the stupid mistakes.
Yeah, like, scarily enough, I think it was the second or third last lap was when I did my PB, so, of the night. Like, the car just got into the groove better as the night went on.
No, certainly it was a good stint, John, because I snickered when early in the piece Troy got on the back of you, and it was only 6 seconds, and I thought, well, this is going to be all over in about 2 laps. But it actually it stretched out for... How many laps did you lead, mate?
8.
Well, there you go. It stretched right out to 8 laps.
Yeah,
so,
don't tell Bulldog, though.
So that was a excellent run.
So Arnie's in the pits at the moment. So starting to get these last ones out of the way.
Yeah, I told you this. I knew this battle went on for ages. We're still going. This is what, 7 laps now?
He didn't go in that time either.
No.
Yeah, you're having a cracking battle with Simon, Bruce.
Yeah, I'm definitely comfortable running nice and close behind someone.
Yeah, and here, obviously, you'd be thinking, yep, I'm going to get him at the pit stops because I'm going to just save fuel. That's less I have to put in for the run home, and yeah, you're making it work. So
I can also
get him to drag you along.
Why I was down on top speed there with my split.
Yeah, I just saw that, Bruce. You got a dent on the right-hand side there.
All I know is every time I stop, I'd go, a minute and a half left to go of optional repairs. Oh well, and I'd go again. Car felt the same.
So Joseph's still that up 25, so he's hung on to that.
He's doing really well.
Yeah.
With Jamie and Wayne pitting, Jamie's come back out in front of you there, Wayne. So you got a bit of work to do, both on fresher tyres, finish your pit stops. What are you thinking at the moment, mate? Trying to hunt him back down?
Yeah, cheeky bugger. He must have taken just a fraction less than me. So I thought it time to knuckle down to chase him. But he was quicker than me at the last track and chased me down. So it's time to come back at him on this track.
Well, there's a nice 44.83.
You're definitely coming.
You definitely got your must for it.
Yeah, I was enjoying it.
He doesn't give you much, does he, Wayne, when you're chasing him?
No, it was good fun. I quite enjoyed racing him. He was. I actually let him go one stage there. I thought I was going to get him, and I just held back and said, "Your corner," because I didn't want to ruin his race potentially.
So 14 laps to run at this stage. The fuel loads are definitely getting down. The cars are getting racier.
Definitely.
So you got Hazy giving you a hard time now, John?
Yeah, he's there.
He's done well considering he had those few offs and losers and stuff. He's really collected it back up again.
Well, he had good pace. He qualified well, so that was always in my mind that he had qualified well. So I was always just conscious that he would have had some pace.
You did out qualifying, but then you once.
Is it this time, Bruce?
I don't know. All props to Simon. He's just been, just trucking on, hasn't batted an eyelid. You know, I've been in his mirror for lap after lap. He just, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. No issues.
Not that one.
You sure it wasn't in your imagination or something?
Yeah, that's fine.
He's set you up beautifully here, John, so that you go back on every lap and see where they are.
Well, it is one of the closest battles up and down the field. Like this one between Wayne and Jeff is the other one. Is it a player one car parked?
Yeah, not sure.
Yeah, Jeff Sanford.
Jeff Sanford.
And if it was he assisted by his teammate?
He's in the chat, so maybe he'll answer that for us very shortly.
I don't know if it's becoming a meme, but there seems to be a lot of friendly fire going on.
Okay, the answer's in, and it was not this time.
He's in the pits.
Oh, right. Not this time.
So then the two battle packs came together, and then there was one.
Wow. Still 13 laps to go, so
Yep.
It's not like you could get silly or anything, could it?
Nope.
This is where if I was either Simon or Bruce, I'd seeing that these two guys coming up on us so fast. This is probably when I'd make my pit stop now. You get 13, 14 laps on those tyres, fresh tyres, to the end. So yeah, this is probably when I'd pull the pin, but be interesting.
Definitely thinking about it. I was definitely looking at fuel. Definitely knew that Simon had to pit before I did. And here he goes.
Yep.
Wait, where is he? He didn't make it into pit lane.
He missed
One
it.
piece. So what he did is, unfortunately, he tagged the wall as he went in.
Uh,
Which is unfortunate.
yeah.
So Bruce is a sucker for punishment. He's got two hot shots bearing down on him.
Yep.
Fresh tyres. Were you aware they had pitted? Were you, Bruce?
No, because I was just eyes front, focusing on Simon's rear bumper. Tends to keep your attention.
Yeah.
I didn't expect him to Bruce like that, and that he's normally quicker, so I thought he might have had a bit of damage or something.
Which he did.
Yeah, I did.
Ah, right.
And I did, and I was running at Simon's pace as well, and fuel saving.
Yeah, gotcha.
Just trying to work out how I could magically get 20 litres extra into the tank.
Nice.
Ed didn't want to pull over and give it to me, though, unfortunately.
Get the siphoning hose out, going around the track, you reckon, eh?
Because, you are just ahead of me now, Ed, so it's...
Yeah.
Hazy's the first one into the pits.
Yeah, that's probably a good call. That may hold him track position when he gets back out. So, and everyone's completed their cycles. So probably a good call getting in around about now. Same as Jeff Sanford, he's gone in for the undercut. That's why he pitted early. So a few little strategies in play at the moment.
Yeah, so I still had plenty of fuel. And I was just thinking,
Well,
what sort of tyres do I want? Is what I was thinking.
We also had at this stage too, Simon Williamson's engine had blown up, so he'd got himself off the road and out of the way.
Yeah.
So as a few guys dove in very quickly, thinking we may be about to get a safety car as well.
I think we all think the same thing, John.
At this point, I was going, yes, safety car, and then I waited, and then I went, oh, it's not coming, damn it.
Yeah. What did Greg say? Just hold for a second.
Yeah, as soon as he says that, it's like, okay.
Okay, it's not going to happen. Because I'm going, no, and Bruce is going, yeah.
But what did happen is Jamie and Wayne, you started fighting down the back behind me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's very hard to get past. Covers the track well, and plays very fair, but he's very difficult to pass.
Then Hazy, I think I've missed it, but Hazy had a little off there as well, coming out of the turn one, I think it was.
Yeah, okay, so he had the pace. He just,
And I just missed it
Because John would have been aware of him.
with Hazy. Yeah, I was watching that very closely.
Peter was another one, hoping for a safety car as well.
Having a good little battle here with Jim Caparonis in front of him.
Yeah, and Adrian Zill, he's not very far up in front of Jim at the moment, so they could come together pretty quickly.
How consistent is Adrian in the top 10 this season?
It's the new wheel. That's what I'm saying. I'm putting the blame on that.
It's his first round with the new wheel. He's been using the Logitech G27 up until then.
Wow. So what's he got now, boys?
He's got the Sim Magic M10, I think. Got it off Scotty Weston's old wheel.
Amazing how much it changed from a
G29, yeah.
Yeah, the gear-driven wheel to a brushless servo. It's outstanding change, smoothness-wise.
Yeah, I think he's got a few little issues with his brakes at the moment, running the Fanatec ones. I do see it flickering, and he was, quite often have a chat with Adrian, and he was saying he was noticing his flickering of brakes coming on, so he might have that dreaded Fanatec bloody issue again that seems to pop up more regularly than not.
Yeah, I've got a set of them sitting under the desk that I've retired.
Yeah, here we go. Yes, no, space given.
Oh, they're committed. Boys are committed.
Ball's going too wide through there.
Oh, that was well driven, guys.
We were having a bit of a chuckle between ourselves. I was just trying to unnerve him a bit. Needed him to make a mistake.
Yeah, not a lot of those come in the top 10 these days. Besides, Wayne, I've chased you enough too, mate. You don't give many out either, just quietly.
No.
Commentator's curve.
Yep.
Bruce into the pits.
Yep.
Well, that was only that was a mistake by Jamie, but there wasn't a massive mistake. You know what I mean?
No. He got in a bit of the marbles, I think, a bit of dusty track.
And of course, John, I couldn't see you on my relatives here, so I'm saying, who's in the top bloody 4 here?
Still at the pit head.
Yeah, but I didn't know who it was.
Making the most out of that long run I did in that first stint.
And the BP award goes to Sean, just quietly out there, just doing his thing.
Yep.
Flying under the radar, just never missed a beat.
So I'm not to your standards yet, Ed, but I think I did 20 laps here with no X's at this point.
Well, that's pretty good.
You got yourself back out, Bruce.
Yep.
So down in 12th.
Down in 12th. I think I had 30 litres on board, thereabouts, maybe for enough to run to the end +1. So what's that, 10? Yeah, 50 litres on board.
50?
Fresh new tyres. So overfueled by 2 laps, but definitely in race mode now. If I only had more X's to play with, that is.
No, I put enough in to have half a lap worth of fuel, and that was it. So.
Yeah, I think I finished with 0.8. Just.
Yeah, well, you're on pit exit now, John, so this will be interesting to see where you come out. Amongst this field, there's a little bit of an angry field coming up behind you.
He's coming across the stripe now. And I think I've just snuck out in front of him.
Wow, that was well done. Yeah, because that was your race, wasn't it? With
that was my race with Hazy at this stage, yeah.
P7, that's a top position to come out in.
I was too busy to think about it, but I definitely had 1 lap, because I was 1 lap down. That meant I had got 1 lap extra of fuel than I needed to, because the iRacing doesn't account for that. So I knew it, didn't bother, just thought I'd just wear it.
Yep.
So fair to say to your leader here at the moment, Troy and Dave, they are in a league of their own here in Split 3. They are dominating those two.
Yep.
I mean, I know there's 4 seconds between Troy and Dave, but then we look back to Sean, 40 seconds. Yeah, it's a big gap, and those two have really found, some form with this season.
They're quick, and as we sort of were joking on the radio, enjoy Split 1 next season, Troy.
Absolutely, yeah. If not, you'll definitely be in Split 2, boys. You'd have to be.
Definitely driving very well at the moment. See how Bruce goes on this lap here.
How are you going to feel, Ed? About 3.94 per lap?
Yes, yeah. But I never really worry about the fuel numbers when you can take the 2 pit stops and you're not fuel saving. So, yeah. So generally, you have to stop. You have to stop if it takes an extra 1 or 2 or 5. So be it.
Yeah, I'm putting 5 litres in.
I just let iRacing do its thing, and it's been really good ever since I just let it do its thing. I don't even worry about it.
It's certainly too hard to think about why you're driving around. You just end up in the grass.
Yeah, I think Split 2, Split 1, when there's hundreds of seconds can make the difference of about 3-4 spots. But Split 3, one goal is to finish the race, and if you stick to that goal, you usually do pretty well.
Yeah, I'm like, as John said, I'd try and finish with a litre. If I finish with 2 litres left, well, I'm like, hey, I might have overfueled.
Yeah, I know.
And Bruce, you're in the pits, mate. What happened?
I thought I'd just go and give my boys a wave, as I would just give a merry run down pit lane, just say hello to everybody, sort of favour the fans.
So Ed didn't take any of your incident points then?
No. So basically I got the, because I empty fuel fast car, I pushed it with too hard, got another X over the limit. Through I went. That's okay, because that led to another fun part of the race where I came out right behind Sean Cullen, who is currently in P3. So
I did offer him, the sum got up to about $100 to drive Sean off, but he still wouldn't take it.
So Ed made the joke, and I said, don't do that, because if I do it accidentally and you've joked about it.
Darren having a look here on Neil.
Yep,
Gets it
nice
done, but then cooks it. Does he? Oh, hang on, son. Oh.
That's a big lose.
I didn't realise there was a rallycross here. Just put some cones out in the dirt and start working your way through it.
Now Adrian still in the top 10 on off Jim.
He's having a good drive, Adrian. He's put in a big commitment. He's had some injuries to deal with along the way this season, he's been driving well, and it's interesting to see his perspective on how the races go. But him and Jamie, good mates, and they talk about racing, have a beer or two, and hopefully he'll push forward like he has been. He's been pretty consistent, I think, this season.
So the drive from the back club, John Van Rees definitely winning, followed by Jim Caperonis. He's got another really solid drive. He's currently up in P10, so that's a great drive from both those gentlemen to get back up in the top 10 from essentially rear of grid after the start.
Yeah, Jim had a few incidents through the race, so he's definitely done well to get up there.
Yeah, it's definitely a solid drive.
They're battling on. Playing it smart though, not being in front of, not having to look at Gunter in the rearview mirror for this long period.
So all credit to Jim. We were chatting after the first couple of races, and he said, "Look, I'm a bit weak in qualifying. I know if I qualify better, I'll get better results." And 2 weeks later, 2 races later, that's exactly what he was doing, qualifying up and pointing to the field. So he's definitely getting fast. Old Jim is. There's no question about that. Also, a very clean, fair racer as well.
Very passionate, Jim. He absolutely loves just the vet's scene. He's just having a ball.
That's good. It's good to hear that. So I'm slowly reeling Jim in here.
He loved it so much he stayed in Discord all day today, I noticed.
And Jamie.
Obviously, everyone's mature at each, and that fixed setup. You don't have somebody who's really, really good at setups that's going to have an advantage over you.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. But Wayne, is this your first season with us?
Yeah, I got I got put onto it by Rob Griffiths, who we worked together for years, and he said you ought to try it. He said it's over 40s, and as soon as I'm 50, I just creep in there. So I'll give it a go.
Jeez, you're one of the young blokes. Bloody hell.
I definitely know some of the Euro guys I race with, they're looking at ways to try and get involved in the V8s and are really struggling because there's no participation in their time zones. So it's quite interesting to see them trying to do that. There is a couple of aliens that are just fast enough anything. You could just jump in and smoke me for pace. So that's why I draft them into my car for Bathurst.
Yeah.
So there's that flicker of brake lights I was talking about, and he's running those Fanatec V2s. So
is it that or is it brake assist?
No, he's not on brake assist. I don't believe. Well, he better not be. I'll have words with him if he is. But yeah, you can see it flickering there on him. He's definitely having some issues with that.
That's Jim diving into the pits.
Yep.
And jump back on, Mr. Peters. Still doing relatively well. We've only got 4 laps to go.
Usually when they first come out, because they were initially they weren't too bad to drive, then they got really, really difficult to drive and unpredictable. But it seems to be after that COVID period where the supercars drivers got some input into them, they've just gone ahead in streets ahead now.
Are you talking about the V1s?
The
V1?
the
car.
V8s, yeah. Marty,
These cars.
Well. Yeah.
Yeah, much better to drive. Because when Griffo told me about them, I said, "No, I'm not interested in driving them things. They're awful." And he said, "Jump in, have a go. You'll be surprised." And yeah, they're quite good now.
I find they definitely have their pros and their cons. Everything else feels dead after driving the V8. There's no question about that. But there's definitely some areas where they're weak, like in regards to like the tyre model in particular. It's an area that's had a lot of focus in the GT3s in particular, and when you come to when you swap between them, you'd really notice that the V8 is very much old. It's just old. It's not behind. It's just old and different in the way the tyres work. But yeah, it's I hopped in to do the Spa 24 with Faz and some of the Euro guys, and it was just the car felt just dead.
I'm really surprised they get any of
this. Jamie. Hello.
You saved it.
I'm really
loving that. Up into P6, John. Nice job.
He's been told to have a look at Bruce.
Really?
Might be worth checking Bruce soon.
I think we've seen enough of me, haven't we?
Thought I heard something towards the end of the race.
Thought I missed something that happened on lap 53, but anyway.
No, I think the only thing I remember that happened at the back is came out behind Sean and got past him, and then just was like, because blue flags. I just sat behind him, and then he made a mistake, so I got past him again, and then just got away from him and had a chat with him after. He was just happy he was just nursing it to the end, so he was more than happy for him to make the pass and move along.
You had a good lap time around here, didn't you, Bert? Oh, yeah.
Second to last.
Yeah, that was a 44.79. But you got a low 44 too, didn't you, towards the end there?
Yeah, 44.3, I think. So at this point, I got plenty of extras to play with. I got fresh tyres, fresh fuel. So it's on.
The shackles have been left off.
Pretty much.
Hazy managed to get through on Jamie, as well.
It'd be interesting to see how that one plays out over the next few laps as they come to the line, because you know Hazy's had a few little issues himself with the rear end, and same as Jamie, you know, both pushing it and overexciting those tyres.
And not many left. Back on late Mr. Zeal. This is a good little battle here. Pete and Adrian.
Yeah, Pete's got a good run on him here.
Stave this one for a minute.
Big hats off to Troy for going 0x for the race, mate. Not only quick, but clean.
Yeah, that was on my mind the last 10 laps. I was like, I've come this far, I might as well try and keep it.
Oh, there's the send.
Yep.
Good send too.
Big send.
He was serving it up and definitely aced it. Well done, Peter.
Pete, you don't give him a sniff, mate. He'll take it. Adrian.
Yeah, I can attest he wasn't very happy with himself over that. I did get a message late last night. We were having a chat and he's bloody stuffed it.
So at this point,
took a little bit to get out of that. So.
Oh no. He's got 30-second buffer, so if he can get it back on.
yeah, so this gym's like 9 seconds up the road from me, so I'm like, yeah, that's it. This is where I'm going to finish P13. But then this happens.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
That was wrong place, wrong time for Jim, unfortunately.
Mr. McLeod. Going to go through the smoke.
So now it's always important to give racing room. So got a sniff here. I'm like, okay, Jim's wounded. He'll be focusing on trying to get the car back. Didn't expect to be this close to him that quickly. I thought this was not going to happen because I just had a look before that. So 7 seconds up the road. Then it's like, oh, get a run. So let's have a look. But got to give him room. So I made sure.
Yeah, beautiful.
Nice.
Well done.
Deliberately took an eggs on the exit to give him plenty of room on the inside.
Nice.
Varian Alta, as we said earlier.
And then
Who was that? Jeff.
Jeff?
Jeff Sanford. Coming in. Look out.
I think the shout of the radio was, Jesus, I didn't know you were there. 'Cause Jim didn't see he was coming through as well, I think.
Great recovery from Jeff. He's up 13 spots in 13th.
Yes.
Yes, so those were spots I didn't expect to get, that's for sure. And then I'm like, run away!
So Troy, on those last couple of laps on 0x, you were dotting your I's, crossing your T's, going through the chicane?
I was, mate. I couldn't see how far Dave was behind me on the relative because there's a couple of blue cars on there, and I was kind of like, I was driving Miss Daisy these last few laps for sure, just trying to hold on to it.
Nearly 10 seconds up the road. And then Dave, 41 seconds up the road from Sean.
Yeah.
That's daylight and then some.
Yeah, those two are just class above here in this field.
So like they're a minute in front of me.
Yep.
I think Dave had an issue where in the pits he changed tyres twice, or when he took fuel he didn't take tyres. Like I know he had about a 10-second stuff up in the pits pretty much, and
Wow.
so yeah, I thought there's been the last couple of races. I reckon he's had the pace. He's just had a bit of bad luck, and otherwise it would have been some couple of good battles.
You got to be happy with this one.
Absolutely.
Definitely did the work, definitely earned it. There's no question about that. So congrats, Troy.
Well done, Troy. Awesome run, mate. Awesome run. And it wasn't all your way the whole race. You know, you had to race in traffic early in the piece there, and
not the greatest start. Back to P3 from pole, and then worked your way through, saved your tyres, saved a bit of fuel, and once you got that clean air, Dave got the undercut on you and on the last stop, but you got back past him and built out a 10-second gap, mate. So you're absolutely flying out there.
it's always been a preferred track, one of my favourite tracks. This one, I do enjoy it. It's good. As I said after the race, it was the back markers were really. It was a clean race for me. I couldn't have been any luckier in that respect. So thanks to them guys for sure.
He would need some pretty good times. We might end up definitely going to be split 2, but you're close to split 1, I think, aren't you?
Mate, I'll be split 2 will be fine for now, thanks.
So let's start the referendum. Troy for split 1.
All right, great win for Troy.
Yeah, well done, Troy. Good win.
Top job.
Dave comes through in P2.
Yeah, he'd be happy with that result. There's a solid race for Dave. Like Troy said, he probably messed up his pit stop a little bit, but yeah, solid result. And same with Sean. He's been very consistent. Very consistent driver.
Awesome run by Sean.
Yeah, the better Cullen got on the podium.
Yeah, we have a lot of banter between us too. It's great fun.
Yeah, Sean always drops in after the race.
The younger Cullen.
Yeah. I think
Cullen drops in. Yeah.
What did I think it was 9 I've got on me, so he's like my little brother.
And you'd be happy with P4, Ed? That's been a good race for you.
Yeah, nice solid run, mate. So just championship points, just keep them rolling over.
Must be honest, that's why I was going for the 0x, Ed, because I could see you're not far behind with your clean racing. So
yeah. So that was a
Well done, mate.
I think we were the only 2 that got zeros for there.
Here comes Shep into P5. Really tough race for him. He's fought hard all the way back from last position. Someone might have mentioned back up to P5. So great result for him.
That's a great run, Wayne.
P6, the man, the myth, the legend, John Van Ray. Here he comes. Got the strategy call right.
Drive.
Done really well. Great drive, John.
And respect to you, Jeff Sanford. Yes, that is the end of the Cedo magazine. The South Australian publisher has said that if he went behind in the score, he would stop. So
does that mean another publisher's not going to take up the deal? Like one in Albury somewhere?
no. I'm not going there. Good drive by Hazy too.
And Jamie had a few incidents there and still finished 7th. So yeah, that was awesome.
Don't know why Hazy's coming out of the pits. That's an interesting one. I don't know. They might have shuffled him down the order a little bit. The iRacing score. I don't know. Didn't see that one. Pete Kelleher in 9th and
penalty,
Simon,
right at the end.
And
like
Pete Kelleher in 9th and Simon Clappin rounds out the top 10 with Zippy in 11th. Bruce in 12th. Jeff Sanford, good drive from him, up 13 spots in 13th. Jim Caparonis in 14th. Joseph Granshaw, we talked about before, up 25 spots. The 15th. So that's a great drive from Joseph. And it was a bloody tough enduro. That's all I'm going to say.
And Andrew, Dave, and Anita all improving. Bottom of the top 20.
Yep, 13 spots for Andrew.
Peter Simon's up
that drive by Joseph to 25 positions. That's phenomenal. He's great strategy call, and well done to Joseph. He'd be very happy with that. P15.
Because when I come out after my first pits, I got behind him and I couldn't drive past him. No way. He wasn't giving me anything. So
definitely a tough night out for all. I don't know why it's not going on my cameras, but anyway, we'll leave it at that. So what we'll do now is so that basically wraps up this one. Next week we're off to Red Bull. Should be interesting. It's another 250k race, so that'll be a lot of fun, I reckon. Looking forward to that one.
The 0x challenge will definitely be on next week.
Yes.
Looking at you, Ed.
And Troy. Not very confident about that.
If you can get around that bend at the top of the straight, that many laps with 0x, you're doing real well.
Yeah.
You can if you knock 5 seconds off your lap time. Just saying.
Red Bull being another F1 track. We've had quite a few F1 tracks this season.
I was thinking the same thing, Scott.
Yeah, well, it was the TBA track in the list that we had from iRacing. So I think we made a conscious call knowing that it was probably going to be another track that we had to pay for. So I think the league made a conscious decision to go with Red Bull, which I think is the week 12 circuit, which we don't run in our series. So that's why we're at Red Bull. Yeah, it'll be another tough race. It does produce good racing. I know a lot of people enjoy driving, a lot of people hate it, but that's every track, I think.
Well, it definitely got mixed up next season. There's no question about that. Mr. I'm just trying to think his name. But I'm just trying to think. What's his name? Who came up with the list? Just trying to find out. But one of the Vets drivers proposed on the forums, which was took out and tweaked. So at the moment we're looking at, for the whole 13 weeks, the current calendar is Sandown, Bathurst, Alton Park and no chicanes, Legacy Silverstone Historic, Long Beach, Laguna Seca or New Track, Miami Road Course B, Jerez with the moto layout, Hockenheimring Outer, Road America, Sebring or another new track, and Chicago Street Course at the end, which of course Vets probably won't run the first and last races because we don't run a normal full season. So that's what we're looking at next season. So definitely some different stuff in there and less F1 tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, 250 Ks at Red Bull. It's a long way. It's another long, almost like a mini enduro in itself. But a couple of fast straights there, so probably turn over the Ks pretty quick at Red Bull. But yeah, 250 Ks, so it'll be interesting.
That'll be good.
Tyre management.
Who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Tyre management.
Tyre management there, Scotty G.
Yeah, definitely. You can, if you start locking those tyres, there's a few of those corners where you do try to push on, and there will be some tyre management, some strategy calls going on. It'll be interesting to see how the guys and girls go about the racing there, and hopefully we can get through the first few laps without a safety car in both split 1 and 3, unlike this week. But yeah, we'll, like John said, it will make for really good racing, and it's going to be another one to look forward to.
It's one race series I always look forward to when we go there because it does produce good racing in the V8s. That's what I like about Red Bull. And before we wrap this one up, Troy, is our race winner, mate. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, sure. Obviously thank all the sponsors. It's obviously doesn't happen without them. So thanks to, I won't name them all, but Logitech, Parramatta, Isuzu, Bin the Blade, Play One Sim, WK&P TV, and thanks to the admin guys and the race control. As I've said before, I think it's a fantastic series and I'm absolutely loving it. Big thanks to the other drivers for that race. I thought it was a good, fair race, and thanks to you guys that do the commentary, John and Scott, and also thanks to Jamie for his setups. I've obviously been enjoying them, and keep them coming. They've been great. So thanks a lot, guys.
Race, of course. So thank our sponsors on behalf of the podcast and the league itself. And I want to thank all you guys for jumping in. I had Wayne Shepherd, Troy Sainstreet, Scotty Gamble, Mark Dial, Joshy Drage, Ed Cullen, Bruce McLeod in with me tonight. And we've had quite a few and a bit of banter going on in the chat as well. So another part of doing this broadcast is for you boys out there to watch and enjoy. So I'm glad you're all watching and enjoying it. And we'll be back again to call all of the carnage and action from round 8, Red Bull Ring, getting near the end of the season. So championship's starting to come down to the wire, Troy. we nudge.
Look forward to it.
Anyway, on that note, it's a good night for me and a good night for everybody here, and we'll see everybody next week.
Big thanks, John.
Thanks, guys.
Put it on.
Good night, guys.
See you, boys.
Good night. Bye.
Thanks, Sean.
So yeah.